I'm just asking, like I would just tell the landlord or the property manager, I would be like, I'm just asking him to just tidy up a bit. I'm not asking him to be a clean freak, neat freak, like I kind of am OCD a little, but like I'm just asking him to do the bare minimum that he was already doing. Like I said, if you could take a box of cereal off, you can put the box of cereal on. You can put it back up. You can tidy up your mess, especially the bathroom. Like take your crusty rags in your in your room, or something with it. Like that was just disgusting. I'm sorry, that was just disgusting, and I wasn't having any parts of it. Okay, so I would always let the property manager know about this. Said he would talk to him, send him an email. Nothing happened in that 2 weeks. Like no change, like nothing. So, and then I would hear him talking mess about me in my room, talking mess about me to the other guy that was, like I said, there was another guy that hadn't moved out yet, but he was planning on it. He hadn't done it yet, and I don't know why he was taking forever to do it, but he hadn't done it yet. And they would sit in the kitchen talking about me. And then one day, I just had enough, because it was after I found out that the apartments got back to me, and I was very confident that I was going to get in those apartments, so that I just didn't give a f anymore. I was like, I'm going to have to be out of here anyway. So I heard them talking about me in the kitchen. I'm like, y'all are two grown-ass men. All right, if you have anything to say to me, because why? Because I tell you to clean up. I'm not your mother. I shouldn't have to tell you to clean up. All right, I shouldn't have to tell you do this, do that. You should just do it. All right, you're a grown man. You have a job. You have multiple jobs. You're able to drive from point A to point B. What is the problem here? Why am I acting like the maid, your mother? I'm none of that. All right, I'm none of that. I'm not getting paid to be a maid and clean after you. I'm not getting paid to do any of that shit. All right, and I would damn sure not like to be your mom. Cause I'm like, what the fuck? But I went off, and I was like, and he would always leave dishes in the sink too. And I'm like, if you don't like doing dishes, get paper ones. Okay, I'm a person that don't like doing dishes either, but I have dishes because I have guests and friends that come over, and I make dinner for all of us, or they help me make dinner, and we just be chilling. I don't feel comfortable having paper plates, offering them paper plates and plastic cups and shit. Like, no, I want to have proper shit. So while I was there with roommates, though, I had the paper plates and I had the plastic, whatever the fuck. Because number one, I didn't want to do dishes there. Number two, I was afraid if I did have dishes there, they would try to use them. Because I'm not going to keep dishes in my room, so I would keep them out there. I was afraid they was going to use them. So that's just nasty. Using silverware that's mine, and then you're using it even though I cleaned it. Like, I don't want to use anything they used ever. So it would just be easier to just have plastic utensils and paper or whatever the fucks, and then throw it away when I was done. Therefore, I'm the only one who uses it, and it gets thrown away. But like I said, here's different. I have guests over and friends over, and my significant others over, and other over, and I don't want to offer them that. I'm better than that, So I just didn't know those people. So they were strangers to me, and I don't want them touching my shit. So that's why I did. So I told them, do it too. You don't want to clean up dishes, and you just want to have them sitting in the sink for several days? That's nasty. Get paper ones. Man. It's not that expensive. It's more expensive than having a dish and reusing. Yeah, but like, you don't want to even clean it properly, and you can get sick from that. So just get paper ones. And they were just acting really dumb. Okay, they were just a bunch of dumb men that I could not stand anymore. And so I went off on them, and I knew I was leaving anyway, so I just went off on them anyway. I didn't care. And then the guy spoke up. Well, the new guy spoke up, and he said, once again, what do you want me to do? I have this issue with my hand. And I stopped the mid-sentence.
I said, I don't want to hear it anymore, okay? You're disgusting. You leave your crusty rags in the bathroom, you leave all your cereal and your food everywhere in the kitchen. Like, we had a nice dining table, and this dude had all his crap all over it. He just took over.
anymore. And he would leave hair, disgusting ass fucking hair, all over the bathroom. In the bathroom sink, on the toilet randomly, all over the fucking floors in the bathroom, and a big cloud of hair in the drain in the tub. And I took pictures of all of this shit all the time. And he was so dirty that he would have dirt rings around the tub. You know, you are just the scummiest of the scummiest of the scummiest. If y'all seen when I wish I would have kept those pictures. If y'all seen when I seen the horror, it was like I was in a horror movie in an abandoned house that was just dirty and dingy, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore. I seen that all that shit in the tub and that dirt ring. I must have used like 5 cans of Comet, powder version and spray version, a whole bunch of Mr. Clean, Dr. Everything, rug, doctor, everything. I spent hundreds of dollars trying to clean this place. And then I just got tired. I said, you know what? Nobody's maid. I'm not gonna keep cleaning this shit. There was like a few times I cleaned up after him and he would like slide a note under my door that said, thank you for cleaning up after me. I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, you know what? This is how y'all want to live? Fine. I'm out of here. So I boxed off all my shit. I checked everything to make sure I didn't have any pests with me. I double checked, triple checked. And I called up a friend and I said, can I stay with you for a couple of months? It just needs to be for a couple of months because I'm definitely getting into my apartment in a couple of months. And she was like, sure, yeah. But I didn't want all my stuff to be cluttering up her house. So I had like I said, 8 to 10 boxes and stuff. And plus I was buying new stuff because I was preparing for my new place. You know, I had to buy new stuff. So all that needed to be stored. So I got a storage unit and went to Walmart. There were some things I needed. I needed a new microwave. First of all, I bought the microwave that was in that house, but I was the only one that ever cleaned it, right? And since that new dude moved in, it was a disaster. It, like, fucking food exploded everywhere up in there. That's what it looked like. And I was like, you know what? Y'all can keep this dirty, nasty ass microwave. It's years old anyway. I'm gonna buy a whole new one. So I went to Walmart, got a new one. It's a bit smaller than the one that I bought originally, but like it fits my apartment. I felt like I needed a smaller one because I have a 1-bedroom, so I needed one. Now where I have it at, it kind of like fits perfectly in that little area, so it's like it worked out perfectly. It does take a little longer to make food whenever I do use it, but I use the stove. I have all electric, so I mostly cook on the stove or eat out with my friends. But like when I do heat up something in the microwave, like some water or something, it takes a bit longer, like a minute or 2 longer. That's not no biggie. Also, I was like, you know what? I want all the things that I couldn't get in that house that I was afraid everybody else would use. So I just held off until I got my own place, like an air fryer. Got an air fryer now. I'm anal about cleaning it. So, because I hear a lot of horror stories about my friends have air fryers and they leave their air fryers dirty for a long time. Like, y'all are crazy. Like how often do y'all, comment down below, if you have an air fryer, how often do you be cleaning that shit? Okay, because I have friends that told me they go weeks without cleaning it. What? No. I clean it, not every time I use it. I'll use it once and then I'll use it again. Before I use it a third time, I'm cleaning it. Okay? I have like a third rule, like 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, it's clean. Okay? And then I use it at least 2 times and then I clean it. Okay? So, and then one of my friends introduced me to like the liners that you put in. Like you get them off of Amazon, they come in like 200 a pack, and just put the liner in, and it's safe. The liner is supposed to be for an air fryer, and it prevents you from having to clean it so often. But I have those liners, and I still clean it at least twice after using it twice. And then I also got a blender that I didn't have in that house before. These are just things that I wanted, that I wasn't able to have because I was afraid that they would use it and then dirty it up, and then I would have to clean up after them. Another thing I would have to clean up after, and it was mine. Like, I just didn't. I held off on it. So anyway, I got tired of dealing with them and their messes and shit. And yeah. So at the time I was moving out, like it was a week before I was moving out. I have a license. I don't like to tell too many people this, especially my job, because they find out I have a license and that I can drive. They want me to be, oh, can you be this? Can you do that? You have a license now. You can do this. You can do that. Yeah. For the longest time, I didn't say nothing because I didn't want to do that. But they know now. And I do the things that they ask, whatever. But at first, I didn't want to say anything because I just don't like change. But change worked out for me because I got a raise with that change. So having a license got me a raise. And now I don't have no issues if I ever did lose my job and I needed to get to another job in transportation, and I needed transportation or whatever, I can. In the past, for so long, I would miss out on good jobs and good pay because I didn't drive. But now, it's no longer a problem for me. And I knew eventually it would get better, but it just took a while, years, for me to do this for myself. And also I had driving anxiety. I needed a teacher to teach me that knew about driving anxiety. So yeah, because people in the past, it would be like a significant other, and they didn't understand my anxiety with driving. So I just needed someone to understand, and that's all. Sometimes that's all you need, somebody that understands you. So okay. So it is really dark right now. This is really, I'm so happy because I got better lighting. I always struggled with lighting as a YouTuber. Y'all don't even know how late it is right now. And I'm like, man, I'm happy. I'm just happy. So that's why I'm doing this thing, okay? So it was like a week before I moved out, I had rented a car. I don't have a car. I still don't have a car technically. I had one. It was a Chevy Cobalt, but I totaled it. The only thing I got from it was whiplash. So I was blessed to not be seriously injured. But I haven't gotten another car since. So it's gonna be a minute. But at the time I had rented a car, and it was right before I got the Chevy Cobalt, and I rented a car, and I was just renting a car. Instead of getting Ubers, I was just renting a car. I was spending a lot of money on, if you ever rented a car, I was spending a lot of money every week on renting a car. I was dropping hella bands on renting cars. I was moving real stupid. Okay, let's just say this is that. The process of renting a car is way easier than leasing one. But it's so much more money. Like, I was so lost when it comes to cars. I was like, you know what, I just want a car now. Okay, I don't care about leasing one now, okay? So there's a lot that comes with leasing cars and buying cars. So I just wanted to rent, all right? So I rented a car for about 3 weeks. Lots of money. What was it? Enterprise. I used Enterprise. Lots of money. Okay, so during that last week of being in that I had, it was the first week I had the car rented, and it was the last week of being in that house. The street that I lived on is like, you can drive you could come through any way. Like you could park anyway, this way or that way, whatever. I parked like the normal way when you're coming up the street. I park like this way. And then my roommate parked this way. Right? So we like just facing each other like these. And so that was always awkward, and it was always like a pain in the ass when he would do that, cause he would always sometimes he would leave the house when I would leave. He get in his car, I'm in my car, and I'm just looking at him like these. Staring problem, you fucking bastard. So yeah, and it was the roommate that I always had the issue with. The one that was there for a whole year that was a student, he can count to me no problem. He barely even spoke 2 words to me. And he didn't really speak English that well, so I think that's why he didn't speak to me. But that day in the kitchen when I went off, I was really going off on the guy that was just crusty, dusty, and musty, okay? The other guy was just in the back, and he probably wasn't understanding anything I was saying. And he was like slightly laughing. Like he was like, that was kind of irritate me because I was really pissed off. And you got somebody here laughing in the background. I'm like, fuck's funny. But I realized that he don't speak English, so he was a foreign exchange student. That's what it was. So he didn't know what the fuck I was saying, so I didn't take no offense to it after I thought about it. So like, yeah, but it was like several times during that week, we would just be like these, and I'd just be looking at him like these, like, fuck out my face. But I would have to like, he would be waiting for me to back up, and there's like an alley, like here's the house, and then there's an alleyway right here. He'd be waiting for me to back up and turn into that alleyway, because that's how I would get out of that situation. But there was one time where I was like on my phone and I wasn't like paying attention to him or whatever. I didn't even see him get in his car or hear the car door open or shut, and he honked his horn at me, like beep 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 beep, like that. And I looked up and I was like, it was him, and he just had like a stone face on, like beep 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 beep. And I'm like looking at him like, are you seriously honking your horn at me right now, like to get me to hurry up? So I sat there, I had my little coffee, I was like these with it. I was like, like, what you gonna do about it, motherfucker? What you gonna do? And there was always a car behind him that was always parked too close to, like, we was always parked like too close. And so he tried to back up, and then he was going like this. So I'm right here, and he was backing up, and he's like, stupid. A ski mask on their ass, okay? I took the biggest knife in the house, and I slashed the fuck out of his tires. All 4 tires. I just know when he woke up and saw his car, he must have died and came back and died again. Because like, if I woke up and see my car like that, I would just break down in tears. Like, I know I would. I would be like, who did this to me? Like, what? Why me? I was so angry. It was the angriest I've been in a while because I just let stuff pile up. And a good tip is to like talk to somebody, talk to your friends, vent to somebody, talk to a therapist. If you have a lot of anger built up, it's not good. It'll come out at the wrong times, and that was definitely all the anger that was pent up inside of me from this dude in a very short amount of time. It was like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, a little bit, or something like that. But I left that night. All my stuff was already in storage. I just had like 2 suitcases and a wraparound duffel bag, and I left that night. I got done doing it, called my friend, and I left that night. I did not return back to that house, except for one day I returned, but I made sure I returned when people was at work or school. So yeah, because it was something I left in the house I needed to get. So yeah, that was the end of that. I don't even know his reaction. I wasn't waiting for his reaction. I didn't care about how he reacted to the car. All I cared about is seeking my revenge. And I'm not bragging about doing what I did. I don't condone violence or in any way, shape, or form, or any don't take out vengeance like I did. But sometimes the anger just gets the best of you. And if I could go back in time, I would have not done to the extreme that I did. I probably just would have used my car keys and just scraped this car just to say he scraped mine. But I would have done something. I wouldn't have sat back and done absolutely nothing, because I sat back long enough and did absolutely nothing for a very long time in that house with all types of people coming in and out of the house. It was like a revolving door. Every now and then, the old landlord would want to bring in a roommate. Sometimes I'd be on my own for like 3-4 months. And then all of a sudden, I get an email. Oh, you're gonna have a new roommate. I let a lot of stuff slide over the years, and I just was tired of letting stuff slide. So I did something about it. Other people weren't doing anything about it, so I did what I thought I had to do. And I know he spent a shit ton of money trying to repair that car, but I ain't got nothing to do with how he feel. I don't care. I just did not care, obviously. But yeah. So I moved out that night. But, okay, with my apartment. Now we get into the apartment shit. So, couple things. If you've never had an apartment before, how things are supposed to go. Expectations and reality for me. Okay, let's get into that. Expectations and reality. When you get your first apartment, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to meet with the property manager, sign a lease, view the apartment days or weeks before you actually move in. Check everything. Take pictures. Check everything. You're supposed to get utilities turned on before you move in. You can't sign a new lease to almost any place without having lights already on, your electric, your gas, water. All that has to already be on before you move in. Okay? This is for people that never had an apartment before, never been on their own before, or never had a house before. All that needs to be on before you actually are in and living in it. Okay? So I was running around with Duke Energy. We have Duke Energy here in Indiana, and a lot of people don't know, but I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay? But I moved to Indiana a long time ago. I moved to Indiana and stayed living in Indiana since 2008. So, and from there, I bounced from Edinburgh to Indianapolis to where I am now, Lafayette. So, yeah, you have to make sure all of that stuff is on. Utilities and stuff is on. So I was back and forth with Duke Energy, and if you're a new customer, they do have deals. They do work with you as a new customer. If you're not a new customer, you gotta pay. If you owe them any money, you gotta pay that first, and then any deposit they need you to pay or whatever, and or pay the bill that you owe them to get the new system set up and all that. So I was a new customer. But my deposit was a little over $100, which was fine. And then you just set the date that you want the stuff to be on, But before I could do that, I needed to know a date that I was moving in. And my apartments, I'm not gonna lie, my apartments weren't all the way forthcoming with that information at first, because a lot of stuff was up in the air. I asked them when I was going to be able to move in officially. They said they would have something, they should have something available in that February, this last February. And I was like, I was told that you would. Now they're saying you should. That's a different, that's different, okay? That's not guaranteed. and it's also not giving me a date either. So while I was staying with my friend, this was in January, mind you, when I was staying with her, mid-January, and I told my landlord, because he sent me a new lease agreement, and I already planned on leaving, but I didn't want to tell him that I was leaving until I knew for sure that I was getting in the apartment. Like I said, they weren't forthcoming with the information, so like he sent me this new lease agreement to sign, and he was just really adamant about me signing, like, okay, sign it and put it in the mailbox so I can pick it up. I was like, okay. So I ended up putting it in the mailbox without signing it, just sticking it in the mailbox. That was like on a Tuesday. Then Wednesday came around, and Thursday came around, and then Friday came around, and I looked in the mailbox, it was still there. And I was like, so he wasn't even, you're rushing me to sign a lease, but you didn't even come and pick it up all week. And then he claimed that he was busy and blah, 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 and he was going to pick it up that day. Luckily for me, that same day, the apartment people got back with me, and they said, February 1st, definitely have a unit available. We're going to have it, we have to clean it first, but by February 1st, you can move in. I was so freaking relieved because I had a date, and now I could call Duke Energy and tell them, hey, I need this on February 1st. And then it was like, okay, they set the time up, I paid the deposit, and then like I said, I just pay rent and electric. There's no gas, there's just electric, all electric. So I was happy about that. I'm used to paying all utilities included in my rent, but I didn't have no problem paying the electric separate until I realized what that meant. Like 5 years living in a house with the utilities included, and the rent was never raised, the utility bill was never raised. It was $275 living in that house plus $95 utilities, so like around $370, right? So that's never changed. Even in the winter months, I paid the same rate. The landlord kept me at the same rate. When you get on your own and you have a separate utility bill from your rent, the rent will stay the same as long as it's on a lease. And you get a new lease, they may raise the rent. But for that whole year, you're agreeing to pay that amount of money. With this year passed, I paid the agreed amount of money, and then they raised this, like there's this new lease signing that I did for the new year. They raised it $10. I was like, it's fine, $10, whatever. But I was informed that it wouldn't be raised for people that were already living here. Had already been living here for a year, and the property manager told me personally, not over the phone or anything, face to face. She said they're only raising the rent for people that are new to the apartment complex and just moving in, but they're not raising the rent for people that have already been living here. And I was like, okay. Because I went online, I questioned her because I went online and I seen that the rent was raised significantly. And I was a little worried. I would still be able to make the rent, but I was a little worried because I had not got any word about the rent being raised, and I was planning on renewing my lease, and I hadn't gotten a word. So she said, yeah, nothing, no worries, you're fine. And then I go in at the lease signing, and she says, yeah, it's gonna be raised $10. Now, like I said, that's nothing. Like, I'm grateful for that being only $10 because the new people, yeah, like I'm just glad I've been here and only got $10 bump. Cause it's kind of crazy. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. When I seen it online, I was like, wait, what? I mean, these apartments is cool, but wait, huh? Like, that's why I was like, But I would have been able to still make it, but it's just like had me worried for a second, you know. But anyways, so yeah, my old property manager was like, yeah, let me just sign that lease. And then once I got word that day, they called me right after I talked to him, and then I called him right back, and I said I can't sign the lease because I'm moving, and I said I'll be out on February 1st, and he was shocked because I didn't mention anything about moving out ever, and I agreed to the lease terms that he had, but even though the lease that he had was sketchy and unprofessional, like the header is supposed to say the property manager and all their information, but it said Titan Management Group, which they had no affiliation with mine. When I called Titan Management Group the day that I was moving out, and they had no affiliation with my current landlord and property manager at that time. So why do you have a lease from them? You know, and then they scratched out Titan Management Group, and they in pen, and they wrote over that their information. That is a huge red flag. Okay, if you're scratching out headers and each page they're just scratching out Titan Management Group, Titan Management Groups, just Xing it all out, and then handwriting their, you know, own information in pen. That was the first visible red flag that I seen. Then everything was as if the lease was for an apartment. It would talk about things that go on in an apartment, but I was renting a house. It just didn't make sense at all. There was so many red flags. So many red flags. And when I brung it up to him, because obviously I brung it up to him, he said that I don't have to worry about any of that stuff that's in the lease. He just needed something in writing. I don't know if he thought I was stupid, and then I didn't finish school when I did, and that I was born yesterday when I wasn't, but I was like, no, if I sign this lease, that holds me to it. That holds me to it, okay? When you sign something, that holds you to it, all right? You're agreeing to whatever the fuck you're signing. It would hold me to it. So for him to say, oh, I don't have to worry about nothing that it says in there, it was just something in writing real quick, you're an asshole trying to scam people that are paying you their hard-earned money to live in that building. Ridiculous. And so there was like a shit ton of fees, and that the way he was gonna scam is that he was raising the rent from me. It was gonna be from $370 to $500. Then because it was $400 for the actual renting of the place, and then the utility is gonna be $100. Then on top of that, if there was any time he came to the house and there was cigarette butts on the ground, that was a $50 fine. Every time he came to the place, $50 fine. Even if somebody was walking on the sidewalk and was smoking a cigarette and tossed it in the yard, if he pulled up that moment and saw cigarettes in the yard, $50 I would have to pay. And anyone else that was in that building. And then on top of that, if he saw any sign of smoking inside of the house, $500 fine. He was just having a whole bunch of fines like that throughout the lease. And keep in mind, this is Titan Management's lease to begin with, so it didn't even have nothing to do with him. That's how Titan Management runs their apartments, which I'm not in. I don't have nothing to do with Titan Management. No, okay? Because those fines was just too much. They was doing the most, and I wasn't about to have no parts. There's some things that I wanted to do to the apartment, and I had to go on YouTube and look up renter-friendly DIY projects that I was able to do while I'm renting a place, so I wouldn't get any more fines. But I brought it to them first. Always, if you want to like replace a carpet or you want to replace flooring or something, make sure it's renter-friendly if you're renting. And you lay down tiles and they can be removed when you leave, and that you're letting them know first, because I let them know I wanted to replace the tiles, and it was like, well, because there was some spots that were darker than others, and I wanted everything to be flushed, so I wanted to get all new tiles, especially for my bathroom area. Everywhere else is fine. The bathroom area had like a couple of spots that was just like different color discoloration. And I was like, I want to cover that up. And they were like, well, you can do that, but it may take you a lot of time and money. Why don't you just get a rug? You know, like a little bathroom rug. And they have really nice rugs that are memory foam. You step on it, it's like all plush and shit. I was like, me thinking like, okay, I could do that, and it would be cheaper, and it would be less time consuming and all that, but rugs in bathrooms kind of like harbor bacteria. You know, it would tend to harbor bacteria. But I only step on the rugs when I'm coming out of the tub or when I'm coming out of the shower anyway, or when I'm doing my makeup in the bathroom. Where I was standing at the most is where it was kind of discolored. It was like the flooring was kind of peeling up because I was active in that area the most. So I have a rug, a memory foam rug that is, what is it, hypoallergenic or something. It doesn't harbor bacteria like a normal rug. It was pretty expensive because it had all those features, but I still wash my rugs and stuff like that, obviously. But she was right. Getting a rug, it's like, it doesn't move around on the floor. It has like the rubber backing on it, and it stays put. It covers up the discoloration, and it looks nice. It looks nice. So yeah, it would have took me hours upon hours to put in new flooring, and so much money to invest in that. Even if it's just in the bathroom, because there's like 50 freaking tiles in that bathroom, and I looked up the pricing on Amazon for like good tiling, or like Home Depot for good tiling. It was gonna be a pretty penny, like over $100 for the ones that I wanted. So I was like, the rug was less money, and for a rug, I think it's expensive. I spent over $30 for it. When there's rugs that you could get for like $5, $10, I spent $30. But I wanted a really nice one that would last a long time. So I went ahead and got that one, but it's still cheaper than what I would have spent to replace the entire floor. So yeah, so just make sure you telling your property managers and your landlords what you want to do, and that it's renter friendly, and that you can like remove it when it's time for you to leave. So yeah, I made sure I told them everything. That was basically the only things that I wanted to do, change. Everything else is fine with me. I called them to see if my current property manager had anything to do with them. Like, how was he able to even get the lease if he had nothing to do with it? Apparently, Titan Management rents out to like small businesses properties. They have thousands of properties in the Lafayette, Indiana area. So they rented a property. They looked up his name. They was like, do you have his first and last name? And I was like, yes. I even have his cell phone number if you want it. Okay. But they said that he rents a property of theirs, and it's like an office area. And I guess that's what he's basing his like little business out of. And that's how he's involved with the Titan Management Group. But his business is something like that. So yeah, but the fact that he's giving me a Titan Management Group when he's completely different, it's like the two, it wasn't adding up. So I let the person know, like, he's making me sign a lease with Titan Management Group scratched out with his information over it. And she was like, yeah, I wouldn't sign that if I were you. And even if you did, you wouldn't be held to anything really on the lease. because it's our lease and you're not renting from us. So she assured me that I wouldn't be, even if I did sign it, it wouldn't be valid, basically, because he didn't have nothing to do with. He shouldn't be giving out leases like that from Titan. And so she asked for his cell phone number because she was like, yeah, my manager would really love to speak to him on why he's giving his property, his tenants our leases for our apartments. Those were apartments, by the way. So I was right. Everything in that lease was coming off like an apartment, and I was renting a house. So I was like, yeah. I gave her the house address. She was like, no, this is not our property. Sketchy, shady ass asshole is what he was. And I was leaving that day, so I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, oh yeah, you want his cell phone number? Here's his name, here's his Facebook, here's his cell phone number. I gave him all the information I had on the dude. I gave him email, gave him everything. And I sent a picture of the lease. And then I ripped it to shreds. I bought this really nice, like square, like shower, like, what's it called? Shower head. But it was metal, it was stainless steel, it was just square. It wasn't like a typical shower head. Spent over $100 of it on Amazon because I wanted like the rainfall. I wanted like the rainfall experience, basically. It was just like the shower heads that be above you and it's like it's raining on you. I wanted that. And then I had like one of these. This is eucalyptus, like vines and stuff. I had like one of these, and that was like, this is a fake one. But the one that I had in my bathroom was a real one, and I had that wrapped around, and I wanted it like a rainforest type of vibe in my bathroom at the old place. I tried to make it look as nice as possible, right? So that's what I went and spent the money to do that. I asked the old landlord if I could replace the shower head. When I move out, I'm going to remove it and take it with me. And the old landlord that I was with for 5 years said, yeah, of course. The new landlord, I told him that, and he was like, yeah, it's yours. You bought it. You take it with you. But just keep the old one. So I kept the old one. He came one day and collected the old shower head because it was really rusty, and he said he was going to replace it when I take the new one with me. So one day, like, I always kept that shower head, it's important to note, I always kept that shower head loose because I installed it with no tools. And when I was moving out, I wanted to be able to just twist it and go, you know? So, but it was tight enough to where it wouldn't fall off. It had been on there for like 3 months before the house got sold. So, it was on there for a good amount of time. But I could still twist it off manually if I had to, you know? So the day came where I had to. But before that, like 3 days before that, he came to the house. Now, the property manager, it's not out of the norm that he would just pop up. He wouldn't let no one know. He would just pop up. Whether he was showing the place to somebody or just popping up, whatever. He used the bathroom upstairs. Came upstairs, went straight to the bathroom. I never heard the toilet flush. I never heard the water run. I just heard him go in the bathroom, and I knew it was him because I looked out my side window in my bedroom and seen his car. So I seen him standing, I seen him get out of the car, I seen him standing at the side door for like 2-3 minutes, and then he came up, all the way up, went to the bathroom, probably was in there for like 5 minutes or so, and then just walked out. And then walked out completely out the house and left. I thought that was really strange. I thought it was even more strange that I was calculating all that shit and watching them. But, you know, I took note of that because I thought it was weird. There's a whole bathroom downstairs. He came through the front door, went to that bathroom because he actually knows the people. The lady, at this time it was a lady and the 2 kids that were there. He actually knew the lady, the 2 kids down there. I don't know if they was like relatives or friends or whatever, but he knew them. and she had a bathroom down there. So actually 2 bathrooms. She had, because I remember the master bedroom had a bathroom in it. From when I was painting, I used that bathroom while I was painting, and then there was another bathroom out where, like, before you get to the kitchen down there. Why he didn't use those bathrooms and he came upstairs to use the bathroom of the 3 people upstairs? Like, I was like, why? Plus, none of us kept toilet paper in that bathroom. We all had our own toilet paper in our rooms. Because I tried putting toilet paper in there once. A whole roll of toilet paper would be gone the next day. I was like, you know what? No. This is ridiculous. I'm keeping my shit in my room now. You know, I buy in bulk. So I had bulk as everything. And at the time, I really wasn't even trying to use toilet paper. I used Cottonelle flushable wipes, mind you. So it's more expensive than toilet paper. The only time I was using toilet paper was really to take off my makeup, or like really quickly if I ran out of things that I normally, like makeup wipes that I normally use. I use toilet paper. I put like some micellar water on toilet paper and just use it like a wipe or something. But yeah, that's how I was using toilet paper at that time. Yeah, because I just don't like. If y'all seen my other videos, y'all understand why I don't like toilet paper or using the bathroom. But like, I use Cottonelle flushable wipes, the reusable like lid ones. So at the time I was using toilet paper, whatever. But what was it? What was I trying to say? Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, why are you using our bathroom? If you knew the people downstairs. And when I confronted him about it, he said that it was the bathroom. Like he was in the area and he felt comfortable using the bathroom in the house as opposed to going anywhere else. Bullshit. Like I said, you knew the people downstairs like better than. Like, I want to say they were related or something. Like he's related to the girl or something. I don't know, and her kids. I don't know. But like, because they moved in fairly quickly, and when he would come in, he would talk to them a lot. So they definitely were friends or knew each other. Okay, so better than I knew him and anyone else upstairs knew him. So like, you felt comfortable using our bathroom over your actual friend or relative. Made no sense. So plus, you went into the bathroom and I didn't hear no toilet flush or no water running for you to wash your hands or nothing. So either you're really gross and disgusting, or you just didn't use the bathroom and you made it seem like you used the bathroom because you was doing some other fuck shit in that bathroom. Like I said, the day came 3 days later. The day came for me 2 or 3 days later, whatever. Several days later, the day came for me to move out. I got everything out of that house, but I forgot my shower head. I went back to the house. Nobody was there. And tried to unscrew the shower head manually. And I couldn't. And I couldn't get it off. And I tested this. Okay, I'm smart-ish. And I tested this, okay? I tried to tighten it really tight as much as I could and see if I can really get it off again. And I've done this like 2 or 3 times. So the last time I did it, I put it on and I knew I could get it off. So it should have came off easily. That shit wasn't coming off. I used a gripper to get it off when I couldn't get it off with my bare hands and it wasn't coming off. I asked my significant other at the time to get it off and it wasn't coming off at the time. I asked my friend that was driving the U-Haul truck that got all my shit in that truck or van, and she couldn't get it off at the time. And I'm like, alright, so I call up the property manager, tell him I'm getting my shower head, but I'm having a difficulty getting it off. Can you come help me? And he says he's in Michigan at the time and he can't come help me, but he will be at the house later on around the time. Now, I was really sly. I moved out really early in the morning, like 10 a.m. and I told him I would be out. I will be moving all my stuff and preparing to move out at 3 p.m. Give me enough time to be out before he showed up to that house. I didn't want to encounter him, so I told him a time that was way far from the time that I was actually moving out. Um, I just didn't want to see him. I didn't want to encounter him. He was bullshit. He was bullshit. So, yeah. So it's funny to me how he said he was in Michigan